What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over my top 5 decks in the standard format currently. Now, Scarlet and Violet just came out and has completely shaken up the metagame, along with the rotation as well, rotating tons of cards of the standard format. So the metagame has shifted quite a bit, and there are tons of new decks that are seeing success. So today I'm going to be going over my current top 5, kind of explaining the thought processes as, why I think they are good, why I think they, should be in that spot. And then we'll go from 5 all the way to 1. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for all the support as always. I appreciate it so much. I've had a lot of fun, making content. Let me know if you think that this list is correct. Let me know if you think I missed something because the metagame has changed quite a bit. And if I could make a top 10, I could also make a top 10 as well, because there are potentially 10 decks that could, come in and win a tournament. However, as of right now, I think this is my top 5 heading into the European International Championships, and all the lists and stuff like that will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into the video and start off at number 5. All right, let's do it. Alrighty, everyone. So hopping into number 5 here, we have Giratina VSTAR. Now, Giratina VSTAR has been around for quite some time, and it had kind of fallen out of favor towards the end of last format. However, it has completely revived itself with the rotation, and it is back as one of the most powerful decks in format. Injected into this list are Beach Court, which is one of those brand new cards from Scarlet and Violet that makes it basically so that all of your one prizers have free retreat, giving Comfey, Sableye, Cramorant, Lumineon, and Radiant Greninja free retreat. Is going to add tons of flexibility to this deck in replacement of something like Scoop Up Net that really hindered Lost Box. However, Lost Box is still so powerful because of the Switch cards that still remain, and that is a big reason as to why Giratina is still at the top of the pack. Giratina has that powerful Lost Impact attack, dealing 280 damage, and Star Requiem. With 10 cards in the Lost Zone, it instantly knocks out any Pokemon in the active spot on your opponent's side of the field. One of the most powerful V-Star attacks, no debate. The strategy of this deck is to use Comfey's Flower Selecting along with Colress's Experiment to get tons of cards in the Lost Zone to be able to use that Mirage Gate to be able to power up Giratina. Deck is still incredibly powerful, and I think deserves its spot on this list. However, it does have a pretty sketchy matchup against some of the one prize Lost Box, just pure one prize Lost Box variants, along with Lugia V-Star as well. And since it is a little bit more reliant on a 2-prizer, it needs to draw a little bit better to make up for that fact that it is a 2-prize based deck. But other than that, though, I think it is still one of the best decks in the format and definitely deserves its spot at number 5. Alrighty, hopping into number 4 here, we have Goodra VSTAR. Now, Goodra VSTAR has revived itself over the past couple of months in the standard format, most recently winning the Fort Wayne Regional Championships, and then rotation happened. And a lot of people were like, oh, Goodra's done, we can finally move on. However, one of the big things that this variant of Goodra has is still a very, very important card, being Melanie. A lot of people thought that Lost Box variants were going to suffer greatly, but I think that Lost Box variants that weren't entirely reliant on the Comfeys to be able to power up their Pokemon are still going to see some success, and Goodra is one of those things. Sure, you have things like the Mirage Gate. That's correct. However, you have another way to power pursuing Goodra if you aren't able to reach 7 on that second turn, which oftentimes you're not actually going to be able to do that. So Melanie allows you to be able to power up those Goodras and just also manually attach, which is incredibly powerful. Along with this, you have one of the brand new cards, Defiant Span, as Goodra is a deck that is more built around slowly building up attackers and then running through them. You're typically going to fall behind 1 or 2 prizes in most games. So Defiance Band is going to kind of act as a better choice belt in this deck throughout lots of the game, as this deck really challenges your opponent's resources and grinds them out. Overall, I think Goodra is still one of the most powerful decks in format, and I'm really intrigued to see actually how well it does heading into upcoming tournaments like EOIC, because I think it actually has really good matchups across the board, and I definitely am excited to see exactly how well it performs. All right, let's move on to number 3. Moving on to number 3 here, we have Gardevoir. Now, Gardevoir is one of the most hyped up, probably the most hyped up card to come out of the brand new set Scarlet and Violet, and it does not disappoint. We have seen the variants with the Rare Candy, and we've also seen the Mewtwo V-Union variants. And over this first week of a set release, it is without a doubt that, the Mewtwo V Union list has been much more successful. You have Gardevoir EX with that ability Psychic Embrace, which allows you to attach as many energies from the discard pile to your Pokemon, with the one caveat that you put 2 damage counters for every single energy you attach with Psychic Embrace. And then Miracle Force doing 190 damage is a very respectable attack. You have Gardevoir with that Shining Arcana, the single prize one, along with Brainwave, which does 60 plus 30 more for every single psychic energy attached to it. So your goal is to use Gardevoir EX's Psychic Embrace to load up things like Gardevoir, and also Zacian V as well has the exact same attack. Also, and then we have Mewtwo V Union. Mewtwo V Union helps out a lot versus Lost Box decks in general. Just also being able to smack for 300 is just so powerful. And if there's some situations where you need to super regeneration, I guess you can do that as well too. But Mewtwo V Union adds a lot to this deck, and I think it makes it a little bit more of a stable deck versus some of its harder matchups like Lost Box. So you don't necessarily have to rely on things like Emergency Jelly to keep your Gardevoirs alive. You can more or less just rely on that Mewtwo V Union. You got Double Mew as well for that consistency with that Mysterious Tail, along with some more support Pokemon and Manaphy and Radiant Greninja. Another big thing is that this version of Lost Box actually has an excuse to play Professor's Research. A lot of the other builds have not been doing that because you value your Gardevoir line so much. However, in this deck, since you're a more Mewtwo V Union deck than the other Gardevoir lists typically are, you can decide to fit in Professor's Research. So I kind of like that. You still got one Judge, one Miriam, one Klara, one Peonia, one Roxanne, one Serena, and one Boss's Orders as well, along with 4 Level Ball, 4 VIP Pass, 4 Far Crystal, 3 Ultra Ball. So as you can kind of see, there's a heavy ball and search count because those early turns are so important, because once you get those Curlies out, your refinement team, once you get that Gardevoir out, you're going to be using things like Shining Arcana, so you're going to be able to set up very nicely. But it's getting to that point that can sometimes be difficult, which is why we play such heavy ball counts and search cards. One Pow Pad as well. This, as you can see, this deck plays plenty of one of supporter cards, so being able to Pow Pad that back is going to be very useful. And Sky Seal Stone is there to attach to Zacian to take 3 or 4 prizes on those critical turns that you need to against V-Stars or V-Maxes. 2 Temple of Sinnoh as well. You could play Championship Festival, but I do like Temple of Sinnoh versus some specific matchups, especially Lugia. So that is kind of the reason as to why I have the double Temple. It still feels pretty good. And then 11 Psychic Energy to round out the list here. I think 11 is totally fine. So, all right, let's move on to number 2. Moving to number 2, we have Lost Zone Toolbox. Lost Zone Toolbox has been seeing quite some success recently. This is actually one of the lists that Celio's network took to a top 8 finish at one of the late night series, and the deck is still really good. After, kind of crafting out the list, I think this is a very standard 60 that I think is a great starting point that I personally pretty much agree on mostly every single card in this deck. I think it's really good. I mean, you still got the Comfey flower selecting engine along with a bunch of different attackers, which is really what makes it so powerful, is just the incredible versatility that you do have. With things like Drapion, Zapdos V, Raikou V, you still have the Sky Seal Stone, so you really can do whatever you want versus certain matchups where you can use Drapion versus the Mew, Zapdos V versus versus Fighting Weak Pokemon, and then Raikou V as well versus those Lightning Weak Pokemon paired up with Sky Seal Stone can completely take over games. The brand new Hawlucha as well, with the Flying Fury being able, or Flying Entry being able to allow you to do 10 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Incredibly powerful. And you also have Cramorant, Sableye, tons of Lost Zone stuff, as you already might know. Radiant Greninja, great consistency as well. And I also really like how this version of the deck relies a little bit more on Raihan, because it's pretty hard to get up to 7 on turn 2 for the Lost Zone. So relying on Raihan a little bit in that early game, I think is actually relatively nice. And takes off a little bit of pressure that this deck might have to perform to get up to that 7 plus the Mirage Gate on turn 2, which is why, I guess, another reason why I really like this deck a lot. You could maybe even fit in Zamazenta and a couple Metal Energies if you want to really work around using Raihan on that 2nd or 3rd turn, but overall, it's a really good deck. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on Lost Box. It's still one of the most powerful decks in format. However, there is one more deck that people thought was dead. However, it is back. It is maybe better than ever. Its matchup spread is absolutely fantastic. Let's get into it. At number 1, we have Lugia VSTAR is still so good because it has some incredible attackers like Tyranitar V with that single strike crush paired up with single strike energy is able to knock out pretty much anything in the standard format. Stone Journer with that Giga Hammer and Lance Pulse able to destroy Miraidon, destroy Miraidons and any fighting weak Pokemon. I was going to say Miraidon or Koraidon. It's kind of, sometimes hard to remember which one is which. But yeah, being able to destroy those Miraidons with that Giga Hammer or Lance Pulse, and then things like Radiant Serena to heal off your Pokemon when their opponent uses things like Radiant Greninja or Sableye to spread damage across the board. You still have a heavy supporter line with 4 Research, 3 Bosses Orders, 2 Judge, and 1 Professor's Brunette. The big thing that you do lose, obviously, are going to be things like Aurora Energy, Powerful, and Capture. So your deck is a little more linear than it used to be, which is a big reason as to why there's a heavy 4/4 Lugia V-Star line. Got 4 Single Strike Energy, 3 Gift as well. Gift is great for consistency with this deck. Pretty much makes it Roxanne proof. And then 3 Double Turbo, 2 V-Guard, and 2 Regenerative. Great versus Lost Box to heal yourself off. This deck, absolutely fantastic. Definitely is probably going to be the most hyped up deck aside from Lost Box heading into the European International Championships. And I definitely expect this deck to see lots and lots of play and also success. So with that being said, Lugia V-Star #1 definitely deserves its spot there. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think as well of the deck that I've showed. All the lists will be in the comments as well. If you thought this list was correct, let me know. If you think there's something that I should change, let me know as well. But anyways, thank you so much for the support as always. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. With that being said, this is SmartTCG. Thank you so much. Speak with you again soon. Peace out. If you're interested in improving your game, I do offer coaching on Manaphy. I'm one of the most successful players in the entire world, ranked in the top 20 worldwide, and I know what it takes to get there. If you're just interested about learning what coaching is, I do also have a free consultation where we can kind of go over exactly how I coach, like some of the plans that might be best for you and what we need to do moving forward to make sure that you are as successful as possible. Just is going to be kind of a time for us to get to know each other and kind of go over exactly what coaching is. But I have all of my sessions here along with training plans, and if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to shoot me a message on Manaphy or any of my socials below. But just wanted to put that out there. If you are interested in improving your game, I do offer coaching on Manaphy, and if you have any questions, anything like that, all those links will be in the description. All right, thank you so much.